Welcome students. In today's session, we will study about another life process called transportation. Students, the meaning of transportation is movement of materials from one place to another. Inside the living organism, inside the living body, the movement takes place usually from the reason of their availability or synthesis to the reason of their use, storage or elimination. In all the organisms, especially in higher organisms, in complex bodied organisms, substances are produced at one place or inside one system, one organ of the body, or it is taken up over there. From there, it need to be distributed to different parts of the body. For that, a system is required, a systematic channel is required, that is transport system. Transportation occurs in all organisms from microscopic to large sized organisms. In smaller organisms, in unicellular organisms, the process of transportation occurs through the method of diffusion. Their cell to cell interaction can be present and one substance can pass on from one cell to the other cell. So diffusion is sufficient from transportation of substance. Generally, in lower organisms, there is no a separate channel or system for transportation. In higher organism, as the complexity of body increases, diffusion alone is not sufficient for distribution or transportation of substances. There, a systematic transport system is required. This transport system is different in plants and animals. In today's video, we will discuss about transportation in plants. But before that, we must understand what are the substances which are to be transported. In both cases, plants and animals. These substances are food, first of all. In case of plants, food is synthesized in leaves and from there it is required to distribute it to different parts of the plant. So for that, food is need to be transported. Whereas in animals, like in human beings, we have studied in digestive system, food is digested completely in small intestine and from there it needs to be distributed to different cells. The next substance which is needed to be distributed is oxygen. Oxygen is taken up by leaves through stomata and from there it is distributed in plants. In animals, lungs filter out oxygen from air and then it is given to each and every cell. Then is CO2. Cells after respiration release out their CO2. This needs to be eliminated from the body, from cells to lungs. Then different excretory products. Excretory products which are produced inside cells and these need to be eliminated. Then next are hormones. Hormones are chemicals which are secreted from glands and these need to be transported from glands to target cells or target organs. These are some substances. Along with these substances, some other like water, mineral, sometimes we take some medicines. These substances also need to be transported from one place to another. Transportation in plants. In plants, some materials pass in and out through the process of diffusion. Like gases, oxygen and CO2 is exchanged from atmosphere through stomata by the process of diffusion. During photosynthesis and respiration, these gaseous exchanges take place. Other materials required by plants are obtained from soil. These materials we have studied in standard 9th as micronutrients and macronutrients. This includes nitrogen, phosphorus, water, etc. These materials need to be transported from roots to other parts of the body. Roots absorb these materials from soil through special structure called root hairs present in them. Water is taken up by root and is need to be transported to the leaf as photosynthesis is taking place inside the leaf. Water is required in that process only, and water is present in the soil. The water is absorbed by root hairs and is transported to leaves. Again, since food is manufactured, synthesized in leaves, it again need to be transported to every part or cell of the plant. So, plants possess two transport pathways having conducting tubes. These two transport pathways are independent of each other, and these are known as xylem and phloem. These are two conducting channels which are involved in the process of transportation. Xylem conducts water and minerals from soil to leaves, that is in upward direction. Whereas phloem carries food and hormones from the region of availability, like hormones are available at different tissues and food is available or synthesized in the leaves, from the region of availability to the area of utilization. Since plants have low energy needs, the transport in plant is slow. Now we will discuss transport of food and transport of water and minerals in detail. Transport of water and minerals in plants. In plants, transport of water and minerals, or which is called sap, is conducted through xylem tissue. We have studied in class 9th about xylem and phloem tissue. Xylem has 4 types of cell: xylem fibers, xylem parenchyma, xylem tracheids, and xylem vessels. Out of these, only xylem parenchyma are living cells. Rest 4 are dead cells. Vessels and tracheids take part in transport mainly. Xylem parenchyma takes part in lateral flow of water and storage of food. Xylem fibers provide strength and support to the system. Water is being drawn up by the root hair cells. These creeps up to the leaves. Root hair creates a large surface area for the absorption of water by the process of osmosis. Means water moves inside the plant from the area of higher concentration to lower concentration. From root hairs, water passes from cell to cell and enters the xylem vessels over here. Inside the xylem vessels, water creeps up and water molecules reaches to the leaves. Inside the leaf, the process of photosynthesis is going on. The water is being used up over there for the process of photosynthesis. The various steps involved in transport of water and minerals are: following are the steps involved in transport of water and minerals in plants. The very first one is mineral absorption. Mineral is present in the soil which is absorbed by the plant through its root hair. It is an active process means the process which involves expenditure of energy. Energy is used or utilized for the process. It takes place with the help of root hairs. Root hairs absorbs minerals present in the soil and takes it inside the plant. It creates a higher concentration of minerals inside the root. After that, the second part, that is absorption of water. Inside the root, the osmotic concentration is higher as minerals are present over there. So, the osmotic concentration is higher inside the root or plant, and hence root hairs picks up water molecules present in the soil, and finally water molecules enters inside the root hairs and passes from one cell to another and finally enters inside the xylem tubules. The third part is called ascent or of sap or upward movement of water. In this, the absorbed water or sap from root to the leaves is transported. The force, this ascent of sap, this process involves no expenditure of energy. The force responsible for ascent of sap is mainly transpirational pull and root pressure. Through these two forces or pull, water creeps up towards the leaves. Water moves in upward direction by the process of ascent of sap, but the force behind that is called transpiration. Along with transpiration, there is another force called root pressure. Root pressure is the pressure exerted by root cells which pushes water in upward direction. But it creates a low push and water cannot go in very higher plants. This pressure mainly works in the night time in lower plants. The another force which is responsible for upward movement of water is transpiration. Transpiration is actually the loss of water in form of vapor from exposed part of the plants. Evaporation of water, you can say, from aerial parts, that is leaves of the plant. Nearly 98 to 99% of water absorbed by a plant is lost through the process of transpiration. Loss of water increases the suction pressure. Since the water is being lost from the leaves, always there is a suction pressure created over here, and due to that pressure, water is being withdrawn continuously from xylem channel. It forms a water column. Loss of water increases the suction pressure and water is withdrawn from xylem channel, and the water column continuously rises up. This is similar to the mechanism as cold drink is sucked with the help of a straw pipe. A suction pressure is created inside the mouth when we suck the air present inside the tube, and the cold drink rises up inside the tube. So this mechanism is moreover similar to that mechanism. Since it develops due to transpiration, this pull or this column or this rise of water upward develops due to transpiration, it is called transpirational pull. Importance of transpiration. What are the importance of transpiration? Transpiration is very important. It is also called sometimes necessary evil. It is evil because expenditure of energy is there, a lot of water is being wasted, you can say, but still it is necessary. Then what are the importances of transpiration? The very first importance, it helps in cooling of the plant, that is maintenance of temperature. If the water will be stagnant inside the plant, due to exposure, it will be heated up slowly and the soft tissues around the xylem tissue will be damaged. Due to a continuous supply of water, movement of water, it maintains the temperature of the plant. It is a very importance use of transpiration. Second, it helps in increasing concentration of minerals and its supply to plants. Along with each lot of water, dissolved minerals are being supplied to the leaves, to the plants. It maintains a continuous supply of minerals, and obviously the third importance, it helps in supply of water for the process of photosynthesis. The next is transport of food. Transport of food from leaves to different parts of the plant is called translocation. A term is given there called translocation. The process of translocation is done through a conducting tissue called phloem. Phloem tissue is responsible for this process. Phloem has 4 types of cells: sieve cells, companion cells, phloem fibers, and phloem parenchyma. Out of these 4 cells, phloem parenchyma, phloem sieve cells and companion cells are living cells. Phloem fibers are only dead cells. Out of 4 cells, phloem fibers are only dead cells, rest 3 are living cells. Phloem fibers provide strength and support to the system. Phloem parenchyma helps in storage of food. Sieve cells and companion cells are mainly responsible for the process of translocation. The translocation is achieved by utilizing energy from ATP. After photosynthesis, food is prepared, which in plants is stored in the form of starch. This sugar or starch produced in leaves by the process of photosynthesis is distributed to different parts of the plant, where it is utilized in different functions. Like in root, sugar is used for root growth, or in some cases it stores starch over there, like in case of modified roots where food is stored over there. Again, the starch or sugar produced in the leaves is used for growth of fruit or is stored in the fruits. The sugar or starch produced in leaves is also used for growth of shoots and young leaves. So this food is utilized in different organs for different purposes and for the entire maintenance and growth process of the plant. Students, based upon today's video, here are 4 questions as your assignment. You have to answer these questions. The very first question: what are the components of the transport system in highly organized plants? Second, how are water and minerals transported in plants? Third, how is food transported in plants? And fourth, what is transpiration? How it is useful for plants? Students, you have to answer all these questions. You will get the answers in the video itself. So watch the video and answer the questions. Thank you.